Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Moore. I just wanted to welcome you to second quarter. We're going to do this presentation just to remind you the expectations around the building. We want everyone to have a successful second quarter. There are many fun events coming up this quarter as well, and we want to make sure you finish this semester with success.
Hey everybody, this is Mr. Brown. We just want to welcome you back to Moline High School for the 2022-2023 school year. In this presentation, myself, along with Mr. Youngblood and Ms. Baker, we're going to explain to you guys some of the expectations that come out of our office, which is called the Student Affairs. The Student Affairs office, it's not just the dean's office, but it's also the attendance office. Our office, along with the counseling office, we're striving to set standards of excellence in the delivery of student services while attending Moline High School. The Student Service Offices aim to foster a welcoming environment that is inclusive, safe, and conducive to learning. In an effort to remove barriers from the educational process, the function of these offices, again, this is the dean's office, attendance, and counseling. Our goal is to help and assist students through services that include character development, resolutions to student misconduct, skills and communication, technology, and critical thinking. The student service offices also work in developing leadership skills to prepare students to becoming responsible, productive, and global citizens. One of the things you're going to see quite often is learners today, leaders tomorrow. In the attendance office, we do have some new faces. If your last name begins with A through L, one of our administrative assistants, her name is Miss Casas, and the other new administrative assistant, her name is Miss Jackson. If your last name ends through M through Z, it's very important that your parents call if you are absent or if you're coming late to school because you have an appointment, or perhaps you just overslept, you missed your ride, you're running late. It's really important, and it is required that parents do call the attendance office. Again, your parents probably do have this information, but it's very, very important that they do contact the attendance office. In the dean's office, again, my name is Mr. Brown. I am dealing with students whose last names end through A through G. Mr. Youngblood, a little different from last year, he is going to be dealing with students whose last names begin with H through O. The new dean, Miss Baker, some of you guys remember her from John Deere Middle School. She's going to be dealing with students' last names ending in P through Z. Now, if there is a situation and your dean is not available, you can obviously speak to one of the other deans. We want to put a face to our names. In the counseling office, and you're going to meet them as well, we don't have any pictures. You can just look at the slide, your last names. It's all alphabetized, kind of like the dean's office. So we want to welcome Ms. Borman, who is new to Moline High School. These would be the counselors that you would need to see. Just like in our office, your counselor is not available. By all means, you can speak to any counselor down in the counseling center. Ms. Bowser, she is the administrative assistant down there. If you have any locker issues or you need to make an appointment with the counselor, she would be the first person you would see when you walk into the counseling center. Our security team. Some of these faces you might be familiar with. Mr. Roach, Miss Olson, Miss Lauer, we do not have a picture of, Mr. Reeves, and Mr. Sanchez. You will see these 5 security personnel quite often, predominantly in the hallways. Their job is to make sure that everybody is safe, that the students are getting to class and getting to where they need to be. You will also see the security team working extracurricular events outside of school, but please treat the security team with respect. Treat all staff with respect. Their job is to make sure you're getting into class, not loitering, not being in places where you shouldn't be. So again, introduce yourselves. A lot of these people you know just by their faces, but we want to put a name with the face.
Everyone, this is Mr. Youngblood. I am the H through O Dean, located down here in Student Affairs. Today I'm going to talk to you about MHS's core values, several other discipline specifics. Starting with the core values, you might notice these posters in the hallway or in your classrooms. These are our universal school-wide expectations. And what that means is we expect all Moline students and faculty to show respect, be responsible, be ready, form positive relationships. So the 4 R's, we value respect. We want to respect all people people, belongings, beliefs, and environments. We want to be responsible for your words, choices, actions, and belongings. We want to be ready. We want to be on time. We want to be prepared. We want to be engaged in the learning process. And lastly, we really value relationships. We recognize each other and celebrate successes. And if we have issues, we restore situations quickly and honestly. So you might hear some of your teachers using this common language to address classroom expectations, maybe hallway expectations. So please be respectful because we value respect, responsibility, readiness, and relationships. So now we're going to talk about discipline and student conduct. So MHS school expectations and behaviors apply not only on all Moline School District property, but also at school events, both home and away. Multiple misbehaviors may result in loss of privileges to MHS activities throughout the school year. So if you're suspended from school as well, you're also suspended from all school-sponsored activities, both home and away. So we want to make sure we make good choices at the football games on Friday nights and Wharton Fieldhouse and all the other wonderful events that happen throughout the year. So please be respectful and value the 4 R's. Disciplinary referrals and actions by Dean's office. So generally, after your teacher contacts home after having a meeting with you, they may send you out on a referral. And if they do, you'll have a conference with us and we will contact home. We have several consequences, such as lunch detentions, and we'll mostly use those for tardy sweeps. We have reintegration days, which is an alternate passing time. We have in-school suspension. We also this year have alternative to suspension, and that's an ATS room housed in the Aspire program. And then finally, we have OSS, and that's out-of-school suspension, which is really a last resort because we want you in school learning. Smoking and vaping on school grounds. It's against the law to smoke and vape in schools and on school property, regardless of age. If you are caught, students will be referred to the dean's office. An MPD intervention may occur. So in other words, you may be ticketed for smoking on school grounds or vaping. Bullying, aggressive behavior. Bullying is defined as seeking to harm, intimidate, or coerce someone perceived as weaker. Students who engage in this type of behavior are subject to school disciplinary action. This type of extremist behavior may also involve the Moline Police Department. A Moline High School School Resource Office is Detective Lopez. So if you are being bullied or see someone being bullied, please come down to Student Affairs so we can fill out a bullying report to address the situation. Electronic devices, cell phones, headphones, earbuds. They must be silenced and placed in the hanging holders upon entering your classrooms. Electronic devices may never be used in any manner that disrupts the educational environment, violates student conduct rules, or violates the right of the student, class, or staff. This includes, but is not limited to, the following: using the device to take photographs in the bathrooms, cheating, and creating, sending, sharing, viewing, receiving, or possessing an indecent visual depiction or non-consensual dissemination of a private sexual image. Informative example would be sexting. So multiple incidents or outright refusal to abide by this expectation may result in what's called an electronic violation. What will happen is you will be sent to the dean's office with your device and it will be confiscated for the day and you will be able to pick up at the end of the day. Backpacks and purses. Backpacks, including drawstring bags and cinch-up backpacks and purses, are to be stored in your assigned school locker upon arrival to the school. These items are not permitted in the classrooms nor in the restroom. These items will also not be allowed while attending events, such as sporting events and dances at Wharton Fieldhouse or Browning Field. Thank you. Have a great day.
Good morning. This is Miss Baker from the Dean's office. We have a few more things to go over with you. The first one of which is your 4th period lunch and cafeteria procedures. When you're going to lunch, you're going to follow the designated hallways that your teacher explains to you. Those are the hallways that you'll take to enter the cafeteria. When you're in the cafeteria, you're to stay there the entire lunch period, or you can use the adjacent patios, but again, you need to stay there the entire lunch period. Do not roam the halls or loiter in unsupervised areas of the building, and be respectful to the cafeteria staff and clean up after yourself. For your student IDs, you're required to have your ID on you the entire day while attending school and at extracurricular events. If you would like a lanyard, you can purchase those in the bookstore for $3. And if you lose your ID, you can get a replacement ID also in the bookstore for $5. One suggestion would be to take a picture of your student ID with the barcode on your phone in case you lose your ID. For your lockers, keep your assigned locker locked at all times. Do not share your locker or your locker combination with anyone. And if your locker is damaged or not working, please report this to Mrs. Bowser in the counseling office and she can help you out. For the school parking passes, they can be purchased in the bookstore. You must be at least 16 years old and have a valid driver's license. Your parking pass needs to be displayed at all times, and do not park in the staff designated areas. Reckless driving may result in forfeit of the pass and student discipline, and violators of parking pass expectations are also subject to citations from the City of Moline. For your Chromebooks must be charged each day. If you forget your Chromebook, you can get a loaner from the Media Center. And multiple incidents of not having a Chromebook or non-charged Chromebook may affect your academic progress for a specific class.
Everyone, this is Mr. Youngblood again. This portion of the video is going to focus on general school dress code expectations. We want to dress respectfully. Students in violation of the dress code will be asked to change into appropriate attire or go home. If you're sent home, that'll interfere with the school's attendance incentive policy. School dress code. Students' dress must include appropriate footwear at all times. Pants or shorts worn and fastened at the waistline and cover your undergarment. Shorts or skirts of an appropriate length for the school environment. Shirts that meet or go beyond the waistline of pants, shorts, or the skirt. And then bottom of the shirts will minimally meet the waistline of the pants. Examples of inappropriate clothes may include, but are not limited to, articles which advertise, promote, or picture alcoholic beverages, illegal drugs, drug paraphernalia, violent behavior, or other inappropriate images, articles which display lewd, vulgar, obscene, or offensive language or symbols, including gang-affiliated symbols. Any head covering with a hood, bill, brim, or other protrusion is prohibited. Students are permitted to wear a beanie or a close-fitting headscarf. Coats and sunglasses and backpacks may not be worn in the building during the school day. Accessories that pose a safety hazard are not permitted in the shop, laboratories, or during physical education, including AirPods or earbuds, unless being used during assessment or instruction and authorized by school staff. Clothing that is overly revealing. Here you'll notice our graphic that kind of shows you what needs to be covered by your clothing. So your clothing must cover this portion of the body. No clothing that has inappropriate or offensive images or wording. Front and back of clothing must be connected with a shoulder strap, and undergarments must not be visible. If you get up in the morning and you get dressed and you don't know if it's going to violate the dress code or not, my guess is it probably is. So always make a choice to wear things that cover this portion of your body. No hoods or head coverings with a bill or brim will be allowed. And here are some examples. So yes, you can wear a beanie, but if it has a bill on it, you cannot wear it. You'll be asked to take it off. And if you refuse to take it off, or if it's an issue, we will confiscate the hat for the school day. So no hats with bills. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Hey guys, Mr. Brown again. I just want to talk to you about attendance. We have two types of absences: an excused absence, which would include anytime you are sick, personal illness. You also have 5 mental health days that are considered excused. A death in the family, a religious holiday, or a family emergency, all those would be considered an excused absence. There are also unexcused absences. I just want to talk to you about attendance. We have two types of absences: an excused absence, which would include anytime you are sick, personal illness. You also have 5 mental health days that are considered excused. A death in the family, a religious holiday, or a family emergency, all those would be considered an excused absence. There are also unexcused absences, and that would include if you oversleep, any transportation issue, a business that could have been taking place outside regular school hours, and a vacation. Those are all considered unexcused absences. Now, as far as coming to school, arrival to school, a little different from last year and the years before, but the doors are not going to open until 7:50. And the doors that you can enter the building is going to be the north, the main door by the M, the west student parking lot, the BPAC doors, the south doors by the tennis courts, that's off of J Wing, and the southeast doors, which is also part of the J Wing. When you guys enter into the building, you will be allowed to go to the cafeteria to get breakfast. So you have basically 20 minutes from 7:50 till 8:10 to go to the caf and eat breakfast. You can go up to your locker. You can go obviously in the hallways and to the library and media center. If you need to enter the building before 7:50, you are going to have to get a pass from a teacher or a staff member the day before. And what you would do, you would go through the front door, the north door, the main entrance, check in with the security personnel at the desk, show them the pass, and it could be an electronic pass. For instance, if you need to get some help from a teacher, you're going to meet the teacher at 7:30, whatever you had in order to get into the building before 7:50. Once 7:50 hits, all doors are open and you're allowed to come in the building. When the weather gets difficult, especially in the winter months and things like that, obviously we will let you in the building sooner. For right now, it's 7:50, and that is a change from last year. Also, when you arrive to school, let's say you're coming back from an appointment, doctor's, dentist, whatever the case may be, you obviously have to go through the north door up by the end. That's the only door that's going to be open after 8:10. That's the only entrance you're going to be allowed to come into, check in with the security. They will send you down to the attendance office. And hopefully a parent, like I mentioned earlier, has called and given the attendance administrative assistants a heads up that you're coming back from an appointment, and that's why you're late. You will also hear a 1-minute warning, and this is for all class periods. It's over the intercom. It's just a 1-minute warning telling you that you have basically 1 minute to report to class. So please do our best to get the class on time. Tardy sweeps, something that we reinstituted last year. Just keep in mind, tardy sweep can occur any given day and for any given period. If you get caught in the sweep and you're not in your class, you will have to serve a detention, which we will talk about if that does occur. And all detentions, if you do get a detention, they're going to be served during your lunch period. So hopefully we all get to class in time and you don't have to worry about that. Now, as far as first period tardy, some students will not start school until second period, but most students will report to school and have a first period, which begins promptly at 8:10. If you're arriving to first period and the bell rang at 8:10, anytime between 8:10, and that's when you're supposed to be in your first period class, there's a 10-minute window from 8:10 to 8:20, and if you don't have a pass from a staff member, you have to go to a tardy kiosk, the one closest to that first period class, print out the receipt, and when you get to that first period class, just present it to your first period teacher. If it is after 8:20, you still go to the kiosk, you go to your teacher, give them that receipt, but what's going to happen, the teacher is going to contact the attendance office and let one of the two administrative assistants know that you arrived after 8:20, and then it's going to be marked as a truancy. So between 8:10 and 8:20, you're going to be marked tardy. After 8:20, you're going to be marked as truant by the attendance office. Second through seventh period, similar, but now you only have a 5-minute window. So if you're arriving to periods, again, second through seventh, within the first 5 minutes of the start of that class, and you do not have a pass from a staff member, you need to go to the nearest kiosk, print out a receipt, and again, present that to your teacher. You are not going to be allowed into class unless you have a receipt from the kiosk. Now, there's a lot of information we gave you guys in these slides. If you have any questions, and I'm sure you do, feel free to ask your teacher, or we encourage you to come down, talk to one of the deans in the Student Affairs office. We are more than happy to clarify anything that you still have questions about. Let's have a great school year this year. But let's get back to business. Be safe. Have a great school year. Go Maroons. Thank you.